Security keeps screwing up. I can't do this shit myself. Then they send me a notification just now that says that they're going to stop sending me notifications that they haven't been sending me anyway. Because now I can check it on my Social Security account directly. No, I can't. I don't have access to that. Megan Missigatis does. This shit is not okay. It's not okay for people to break the law the way that they do, and it's not okay for them to destroy evidence of it. What these people did is predatory, and it does need to be turned in, but someone needs to care. Care enough to help me to turn it in. Not somebody like Kayla Trujillo who's gonna fucking lie at me for months on end and never keep her word. Not somebody like Mandy Hughes who's gonna lie to me for months on end and not keep her word. These people should have helped me rather than take advantage of me. Then there's also the Screwups by the Department of Health and Human Services and from the Social Security Administration. They know I can't take care of myself. I've been going to all of these people and all of these places to get a fucking advocate and a goddamn guardian for 6 fucking years. I haven't had one. In that entire 6 years, the closest that I had was Tamara. At the very beginning with Meg, I thought she was going to help. I thought, hey, this is a lady who understands autism. But then, as things went along, she started more excuses. She kept telling me things that she needed to tell the cops. At no point in time was stopping the abuse ever a priority or even an afterthought in any of these people's minds. Stopping the abuse was not anything that they were interested in. It didn't matter that they threw me into a place where I am victimized repeatedly over and over again. A place where I am hated because I am not allowed to spread the truth. I'm not allowed to tell the truth. I'm not allowed to show the truth. I'm not allowed, and none of these people care. None of them. They helped my predators to get away with it by pretending that if they ignore it, it'll all go away. It hasn't gone away. My life has been destroyed, and they helped my predators to get away with it. I can't make these calls by myself, and I can't let you make them for me. You will do wrong things. You need to make those calls with me so that I can record the situation, so that I have evidence to show in court instead of having to take your word for it when you're too much of a coward to speak up. I took your word for what you said, and you ended up being liars. I need to turn in these people who are victimizing me, and all of these people I went to for help turning in my fucking predators. Maybe they should have taken some goddamn time to focus on that instead of becoming my predators. Instead of doing the exact things that they swore up and down that they would never do. Between sending me a notification that I can't reply to, that I have to do something about something online that I'm not capable of doing, That's the problem with having Megan Missigatis be in charge of that shit. That's the problem with her trying to pawn that shit off on somebody who has already shown that she wasn't fucking interested. She did not care. Amanda DeMette had already shown that she was not going to make any effort to fucking turn this shit in. Despite her claims that she was going to help me. She did not keep her word. When Megan was saying that she was going to send all that to Amanda, I let her know not to. Do not do that. Amanda is not going to help me. She has already stated loud and clear. But no, Megan Missigatis wouldn't listen. Nobody listens. They don't care. Oh my God, that is gross as peanut butter. Peanut butter and honey. My rules are pretty simple. Tell the truth or I will. You do need to be more afraid of me than you need to be afraid of Ted Bollinger. Because Ted Bollinger will just kill you. Ted Bollinger doesn't care about anybody but Ted Bollinger. Me? I'll tell all your dirtiest secrets to the whole fucking world. And I've already exposed enough dirty secrets of these filthy son of a bitches. Well, you oughta think twice before crossing me. You gotta think twice about your families. You gotta think twice about that. You could have done the right thing. Instead, you broke the law repeatedly. I want you to think about your kids and what they're gonna have to go through while you're in prison. I want you to think about your family and the hardships that they're gonna face because you wanted to do wrong things. Leslie Snell knew what she was doing was wrong, but how am I going to turn it into Dual County? How am I going to turn it in anywhere in Nebraska? These people who said that they cared, did they make phone calls with me to make sure that the Nebraska State Patrol and the Dual County Sheriff's Department actually did their jobs? Did any of these people make calls with me to the FBI? No, none of them did. How many people made calls with me to turn in these crimes? Well, that would be a grand total of none. None of them had any intention to help me turn in these crimes. They claimed that they would. But then they kept getting wishy-washy and changing their mind. Well, sorry, homie, don't play that. People have been threatening to kill my family and my friends for years. The best way to keep you safe is to make sure you're not my friend. The best way for me to keep you backstabbers safe is for you not to be my friend. But then again, I got a big goddamn mouth. And I'm not going to pretend that you never did anything wrong. I'm not going to pretend like you didn't try the things that you tried. And I'm not going to pretend as if you followed through. You did not follow through. You did make a token effort, just enough to claim that you tried. But really, none of you ever had any actual intent in helping me. To the ones who came on after Natalie's death, it was about entertainment. For the ones before Natalie's death, it was about hiding their own wrongdoings. It's about hiding their, well, it's not pride, is it? These people couldn't possibly take pride in doing these things. Their eternal shame. Theirs, not mine. I will not be going before the Almighty when I die. I'm not a Christian. Apparently. However, I still repent. I still follow the rules the way that they're intended. The way that they're written, not how they're interpreted. Or grossly reinterpreted by preachers who are fucking little kids. No, I read the book when I was 6. That was the first time I read the book. I've read it many times since. None of these Christians are real Christians. Most of them have never actually read the book. They say things like, oh, well, I have a connection. Oh, well, good. Good. Maybe you could share your cell phone service with the rest of us if you're getting a connection. My older brother said, well, I won't help you because God says you'll never be happy. I asked God and God says you'll never be happy. Oh my God, Eric. Seriously, did you smoke that much fucking meth? Apparently he did. Yeah, between looking at evidence and talking to an imaginary friend who, according to the Bible, if my brother had heard God speak, my older brother would be dead right now. Of course, my brother is dyslexic as all fuck, and he doesn't read the Bible. He has no fucking clue it's in there. He knows little bits and pieces that people throw at him, and often. We were also in Royal Rangers together, so he knows the same stuff from Royal Rangers I do. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, so that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:16. Learned that in Royal Rangers. Supposed to be a separation of church and state. Yet so many of these people, because they wouldn't get any assistance by the state for what they've done, they had to manipulate the weak-minded. So I ended up with weak-minded people threatening me over things that never happened. One of the tactics they use is they find out that you can only be contacted by email, and they tell you, oh, well, we can't contact you by email. That's the one way we can. Or when you tell them that the only way that you're able to talk to them is through the telephone, and for some odd reason, now they can magically send it through email, but they can't do it over the phone. For 6 years of these son of a bitches telling me it's not their job, it's not their job, it's not their job, and then I get sent to the very people who had already told me it's not their job and told that it is their job. Well, those people continue to tell me it's not their job, and then they tell me it is their job after they've already committed felonies. Imagine that. But then I got to rely on Stephanie Mejia to come forward and tell the truth. But is Stephanie Mejia going to do that? No, because she's pissed off that I told the truth about her. You don't need to be worried about Ted Bollinger. Ted Bollinger will only kill you. I'll tell your secrets to the whole goddamn world. When I spent everything that I had to get help from Stephanie Mejia, what did she do? She took advantage of that and basically made a little mini vacation to cheat on her husband. So while I was being repeatedly harassed by her husband, and I don't want to get involved in none of this shit. It's not my fucking business. I mean, as far as our business goes, Stephanie Mejia was not supposed to be there to get fucked up on mushrooms and fucked up on alcohol and fucked up on Ventus's dick. That's not what she was supposed to be there for. I didn't spend all that money, every penny that I had, to get her there so that she could waste my time, well, cheating on her husband and doing a bunch of fucking drugs. She got bored because she was on drugs and she wanted to do things that you do when you're on drugs. Like, holy shit. My little sister did the same thing. She couldn't pay attention to me because she was too busy focused on Ed. Everything is always fucking Ed. Holy shit. Ed. Ed is the end-all, be-it-all who can fix every goddamn thing. Well, no, he destroyed an entire goddamn computer worth of evidence. I can't turn it in without someone making the call with me. You think that would be an easy thing to do, to tell somebody, hey, I'm being abused. I need help turning it in. Will you make the call with me? You'd think that if anybody actually fucking cared about me, they would, I don't know, not waste my time. The United States government is predatory towards everyone in this country. The more broke you are, the more they victimize you. The reason they victimize you more when you're broke is because you can't defend yourself against false charges. It takes money. Sure, you say innocent until proven guilty, but my guilt was assumed from the start. And then when they fucked up repeatedly, well, they broke the law even more to make sure that I couldn't turn them in. Lied about me, slandered me 12 separate times, I believe now. 11 or 12 times Dual County Sheriff's Department has done this when I've tried to turn them in. When I've tried to turn in a Dual County Sheriff's Department employee, they have pressed false charges on me repeatedly. And then they've had to drop the charges. Why is it that 11 separate occasions they had to drop the charges? 11 separate occasions, because in order to get away with it, they have to have me diagnosed as schizophrenic. That is the most important thing. They have to have me diagnosed as schizophrenic, which means they need to make sure that I am cut off from showing evidence, that I see only a state doctor who is not interested in anything that I have to say, who is going to assume, just because the Dual County Sheriff says so, that it must be true. Now, he almost did that. He almost succeeded. He told people that I was schizophrenic and delusional, and then those people just went with that assumption. They went with this idea that Scott DaCosta must have been telling them the truth, and it took 6 months of being in there, being abused, but I eventually got out. And all the doctors that I saw in there who could have diagnosed me with schizophrenia, not a single one did. Matter of fact, the doctor, Ted Hill, was pissed off that I was sent to C2, because that's the mental health ward. If I'm not schizophrenic and not delusional, I can't be there. I'm not schizophrenic or delusional, so they had to let me go. But the guards in that prison committed a lot of crimes against me, and I can't turn those in either. Not without someone making the call with me. With me. Not for me. Not if you're not going to try to turn that information in. Not if you're going to make one effort that you spent $80 fucking on. She didn't need to spend $80 fucking to send that shit out. She said she wanted to make sure that it was certified. All right, well, you made sure it was certified. Now, how much effort did you make after that? Oh, yeah, jack shit. You said, oh, well, I tried that and it didn't work. Bitch, you didn't try anything until almost a year after you first fucking started. Well, that's kind of dumb, lady. When should you have turned in that evidence? When should you have done so? When should you have spoken up? When should you have actually helped? As a mandated reporter in the state of Nebraska, why didn't you? Also, knowing that your title as an advocate is being used against me because you're not doing what it is that someone with the title of advocate is supposed to do in the state of Nebraska. Because she wasn't trying to get that information into court or making any effort whatsoever towards that. Nobody was, just me. These predators were allowed to repeatedly harm me over and over and over again and pretend like I was choosing for them to harm me, that I wasn't trying to work with my advocate. She wasn't advocating. She wasn't doing that job. Now, obviously, these people know that I'm not schizophrenic in real life. You think that they could take, I don't know, if they can spend 4 hours fucking telling me about their own personal bullshit, you'd think that they could make one goddamn phone call with me. You'd think that any of these people would have tried to make these phone calls with me. Who actually tried to make these phone calls with me? Nobody. Nobody tried to make these calls with me. I had to do it all by myself. A lot of people claim that they would make these calls with me. Miss Peaches said that she would. She's one of many. Shannon Alvarado said that she would. Brett Roloff said that he would. Of course, why did Miss Peaches not keep her word? Because she's a lying piece of shit and she's friends with fucking the very same drug dealers that I was being victimized by. Gee, you'd think, I don't know, maybe she could tell the truth about that. She won't, which is why she's on the internet. You guys think you need to be afraid of Ted Bollinger. No, Ted Bollinger will only kill you. I'll tell all your secrets in public. I don't get embarrassed. You guys want to pretend that that's stabbing you in the back? Oh, no, it's not. Telling the truth isn't stabbing you in the back. You had your choice. You had your decision. What the hell is going on? I don't get it. Why is my phone not working now? We'll have to figure this out. It says rotate device, but it's sideways. So I just took a picture of it. We'll see if it works. If I turn it sideways, that doesn't fix it. That doesn't fix it. Maybe if I do it this way. Nope. All right, there it goes. These people weren't mad at me for telling the truth until I told the truth about them, and then they didn't fucking like it. Well, they should have thought about that before stabbing an innocent man in the back. before doing everything that they could to hide their involvement in the situation or the fact that I went to them for help repeatedly and they all blew me off. Of course, they did the same thing after Natalie's death too, didn't they? They ignored me while I was abused. I reached out to them for help. They claimed to love me and claimed to care about me and talked about themselves and over again just kept talking about themselves. I didn't matter. They were just glad to have someone they could talk about themselves to. A lot of people offered to help me, and then, of course, 6 months later, they're bleeding out their fucking manginas all over my goddamn Facebook. Oh, poor me, oh, poor me. I didn't get a Louis Vuitton bag. Most of the people that offered to help me were women. Very superficial, selfish, druggy women. Which is fucking phenomenal. That's just the greatest news in the goddamn world. I need help with this shit, and I gotta go to fucking alcoholics and fucking meth addicts? Are you out of your fucking mind? Instead of telling me what to do, maybe you should fucking listen to the scenario, listen to the situation, and look at some fucking evidence, for Christ's sake. This shit is not fucking okay. By allowing these things to happen to me, and by not coming forward, you have allowed even worse atrocities than Natalie's death. Her death was bad enough. But you know what? The lack of justice afterwards is fucking pathetic. Who victimized Natalie Bollinger? Was it me or was it her family? Natalie Bollinger wanted to make people happy, primarily her druggy family and her fucking predators. Her predators. She did horrible things to me to make the people in her family who raped her, who molested her, who forced her to sell drugs, who threw her away for abusive men, bottles of alcohol. Nobody in her family gets to pretend like they're good people, just like nobody in mine gets to pretend that they're good people without me checking them. You abuse the living shit out of the disabled, and then you tell them that it's their fault that you abused them. These people chose to allow an at-risk adult be abused repeatedly because they didn't care. However, just because they didn't care doesn't mean that I didn't. I gotta find a way to do it without your help, right? Well, finding a way to show the truth of the situation that you were involved in without your help, well, that requires, posting up screenshots between us that show that you're a lying piece of shit. Posting up conversations between you and I that show that you're a lying piece of shit. Oh yeah, and telling people and showing them the evidence of the crimes that you have repeatedly committed, including people like Robert Franklin Mornick being on the sex offenders, Nebraska registered sex offender list. Why is he on the Nebraska sex offender list? Because he fucked a child. Not a teen, not a preteen, a child. And the cops helped this guy to get away because I couldn't get any help. Haven't been able to ever get any help turning in my predators. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody ever did. You shouldn't have lied to me about it. None of you. I'm in this fucked up situation because you chose to victimize someone who can't take care of themselves. You chose it. Just like many of these people who knew what was going on after 6 years continue to play stupid. Well, now their shit's up on the internet too. You can see how they treated me. If these were really my friends, if they really cared about me, they would have told the truth. Many of these people, they wanted to type things that were so fucking mean-hearted. And it's stupid because most of this mean-heartedness that they're typing at me, they admit, at the very end, they always admit that I told the truth. Always. While calling me a slanderer, they admit that I told the truth. The things that they throw in my face as if I'm a bad person. Well, the things that they had to say in those situations showed that I told the truth. The things that I asked them to come forward with 6 years ago. You'd think that that would have been easy to tell the truth. You'd think it would be easy for them to make the connection instead of make excuses. You're not my friends, you're horrible people, and if I ever see you in my vicinity, I'm going to assume that you are going to try to kill me. And I will do everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen. If you try to kill me and I have to break your neck to stop you from doing so, well, that's just what I'll have to do, isn't it? It's not something that I want to do. And that's the difference between violence and self-defense. These people have threatened to kill me or assisted people who have threatened to kill me in getting away with it. If you come anywhere fucking near me unannounced, I'm not going to assume that you're here to help me. I'm going to assume that you're a coward who's showing up unannounced because you're a coward. Now, I don't have any weapons with which to shoot you. I don't carry a knife with which to stab you. Which means that if you end up shot or stabbed in an engagement against Sean David Schwartz, then you were stupid and got closer than you should have. If you're going to take me out, you better do it with a high-powered rifle. I'm older and I'm slower, and I didn't practice my training in ninjutsu as much as I should have, but that's no guarantee that I won't revert back to that training if somebody does something stupid like that. Now, if you want to kill me, we can arrange for you to kill me. Hell, I told many people who threatened to kill me that I'll dig my own goddamn hole, and to this day I mean it. Not being allowed to show evidence, being denied all of my rights, and yes, these rights were denied, and yes, it is illegal to deny me these rights. Just because people are stupid enough to believe whatever they're told instead of looking into it, like, of course, the situation with that judge. None of those judges should have been allowed anywhere near that case, especially knowing that there was, well, a conflict of interest with Scott DaCosta going all the way back to 2018 and his deputies since prior. Of course, I don't have a guardian or an advocate, and I never did. Megan Mesigatis made zero effort to actually advocate. Zero. So what the fuck is going on here?